Guess what? We got another fever. Philip never, ever used to get fevers, ever. And now that it's the year of trying to add to our family, how many fevers has he had? 3. Well, that was silly. I only made half a pot today. So I literally didn't become a coffee drinker until Callie was born. I even had a newborn with Kinsley and was totally fine. I just would drink it as like a treat. It's not necessarily the caffeine. I just feel like I deserve a treat every day. I am not a black coffee drinker by any means. I am how can I get sugar and milk and consume it every day? I could make like a tea latte instead. I could. So maybe there is a little bit of the caffeine enjoyment as well. Second cup of coffee of the day. And it's always cold because I had so much milk that I just turn it cold. So I just drink cold coffee. I don't think I ever drink hot coffee. But I figured today I'd bring you guys along because I don't know if I'm gonna be going down for the count soon, but I feel great today and I felt great yesterday, and so I'm going to bring you along and show you how I take care of my sick family. I don't even want to say it out loud. I'm like afraid of saying it out loud because then I'm gonna be sick. I haven't gone horizontal. I'm kind of running the whole show right now, so the only people who are sick are Cassidy, who's actually on the mend, and just Daddy, just Philip, is sick. If we were all down for the count, bringing you guys along is really hard for me. So today is actually a perfect day for me to show you kind of what goes on, what do I do while sickness is going on in the house, and kind of the remedies, the foods, the tinctures, the supplements, all the things that I think have really made a difference for us. But first, it was a hot mess milking this morning, just me by myself. I got the first half of the milk put into the separate bucket before she kind of stepped, and she didn't kick the bucket or anything, but it was just enough where some mud got on the top of the bucket. It ended up happening twice. So anyways, when that happens for us, we don't mess with any kind of contamination because we consume raw milk. And so that milk just went out to the pigs. But the stuff that I had transferred over into the clean bucket and kept it safe, that's the milk that we got for today. So we actually only got 3/4 of a gallon. We've already cleaned up the kitchen once today, and it still feels like anyone with me? Doesn't matter how many times you clean up the kitchen. It's always a working kitchen in our house. What, baby?
My foot's dirty.
Your foot's dirty? What are you gonna do about it?
Look at my foot.
What? It looks clean to me. Are you gonna wipe it?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 things that help me when I'm not feeling bad. I'm going to try to get a little bit ready.
Can I have this?
No, because your runny nose is better, and that's for your nighttime. We do, since it's sick video, we'll talk about it. So we have the Highlands drops. Highlands got a bad rap for their teething drops a while back, but their cold tablets, this is the nighttime and the daytime. That is probably my favorite thing that we had since Kinsley was a baby. It really helped knock out that so cruddy, congestion, drippy, they couldn't get comfortable, and using those within like a day, we were doing great. Okay, the tiniest bit to just feel like, so I like dab under my eyes, pull it down, just like gentle. So this one is my cleaner foundation. I'm using the 230 because I'm out of the 310. This is the Beauty Counter Skin Twin, and I really do love it. I like 310 for me, and you know how pale I am. It seems like it would be too dark for my skin, but I actually think it's a great color. But the 230 is also fine for winter. Tiny bit of color just because it's winter. Right, kiss of color. Cheese. It's pretty much all I do. Just like enough where you feel like, eyelashes are not today. Maybe just because you guys are with me. Throw mascara, whatever mascara you have. I have the Beauty Counter, this is the Think Big. It's amazing. If you ever tried Beauty Counter when they had their old mascara formula, it was actually the worst mascara ever. I used to tell you guys that. This one is one of my favorites. So whoever reformulated it, great job.
Can I sit here?
You wanna sit there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I won't touch.
You what?
I won't touch.
You won't touch?
Can I just sit here? Can I see your makeup? Your makeup is so bad.
How do we feel about that? It's like the tiniest little bit, but for me, especially because I have rosacea on my cheeks, it just makes such a big difference just to feel a little fresh. Okay, so we only got 3/4 of a gallon today, but I literally don't have any more room for milk. So I have to make something today. Love it! Can you get a magnet for the refrigerator? Okay, let's see. How much? Okay, we are down to 4 quarts of cream, 2 gallons of skimmed milk that will be turned into mozzarella cheese, and I have now the one from today and the leftovers plus our pouring milk. I feel like people ask us all the time, how in the world do you go through, even, so Buttercup, we're still cash sharing, so we are getting about, now that we're separating them, we get like 1.5 gallons a day instead of 3/4 of a gallon per day. And at first when I thought, even just getting 1 gallon a day. When I was buying raw milk, I was buying 3 gallons and I was buying it every 2 weeks, sometimes a week and a half. And if I wanted to make cheese, then it would be like every week. But I wasn't making butter, or I would make butter, but I wasn't making enough butter for our family. I was still buying butter. I was still buying yogurt. I was still buying sour cream. I was still buying things. So I was having this milk where we used, Mama uses a lot of milk for her coffee, like a lot. So long, for 16 years, yeah, wow, that's been a long time. I kind of demonized dairy, and that has very much been in our society of like, I was dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free, when people didn't even know what gluten was. I was in high school and gluten-free was not a common terminology back then. And sometimes when we're sick, we still will stay away from dairy just because it is more of like mucus producing. And so we'll kind of cut back on the dairy. But a lot of those studies and the things that I learned about dairy, what were we talking about? Are we talking about conventional dairy that is pasteurized, or were we talking about raw dairy where the enzymes are still in it? This is, I'm showing my coffee, pretend this is just milk. The milk, it is so cool and it's so powerful how God made it, where there are enzymes in it. When we don't pasteurize it, the good enzymes that are in it go and attack any bad bacteria that is introduced. Like, it has that like fight system already built into it, and it will get the job done. My raw milk, it doesn't go bad. It sours, so it'll turn into a different product. I might not want to pour it into my coffee unless I want sour cream-ish sour milk product in my coffee. But I just keep thinking of how long I demonized milk when all of those studies, all of the things that we were looking at with dairy, it wasn't the raw milk. It was conventional milk where we pasteurized out all the good things, and then it just became kind of this blah product. Anyways, there's a lot of nutrition dense goodness that comes in our raw dairy, but I need to handle all of that that's sitting.
I need my little book.
Your little book?
Yeah.
Here, you wanna go read? So we've got to get our milk under control, and I am starting to feel that drowning feeling when you have so many things to do and so little time, that I am starting to just make a list. When it's so many, I can keep track of a handful, and then it feels like things are starting to slip through the cracks. So I'm writing down a list. I've always got my check boxes because check boxes make me happy. Bone broth. And I gotta keep this going because we are out of bone broth in the freezer, which is a no-no when we are sick. So 30 more minutes until we can strain off this batch, and then we'll keep making batches. In here, we've got a whole chicken and some chicken feet, and I did some onions and just ginger. Usually I'll do like celery, onions, carrots, and make a different kind of broth. This is specifically, I want it medicinal. So if the ginger is way too strong, I actually never add ginger to my bone broth. If it's way too strong, that's fine. We will dilute it. We'll make it into a soup. It'll be wonderful. It'll be great. But hopefully it'll just be perfect amount of spice for Daddy to kick this cold. Okay, I am making a second batch of bone broth with the same amount of bones. So we did a chicken carcass, and then we added some feet and onions and ginger. We're just going to do it for, let's do 3 hours this time. I really would say the Instant Pot is probably my least favorite way to make bone broth, in the sense of I just think it's better to slow cook and pull the nutrition out slowly. I think you probably get better quality product, but for fast and easy, it's my favorite because it's done. The first batch I did in 2 hours. This, I put a little bit less water. It's a second time around. It's going to be in there for 3 hours. And this is the pot that I just made cheese in. I rinsed it out and threw in, look how gorgeous and rich that first round is. So I can very much smell the ginger, so I'll see if that was too potent and too pungent, but I don't care. We need the medicinal properties of the ginger, of the onions, and we are going to be wiping this sickness out of the house. right, work call is over. Check that off. This list is actually super helpful. I do this a lot of days, but some days where I don't, and then partway through the day, I'm like, where are we going with today? Okay, Philip did homeschool today, which is awesome. So this is actually not really a sick day because Philip is feeling better. Cassidy is feeling better. So this is more of like kind of showing you around the house today and kind of things that we just have going on. All right, we cleaned the kitchen. All right, we have actually tackled a good amount today. Burr.
Daddy was down there. Is it cold in here?
It's cold outside. No, we gotta get you a winter jacket. And where's your boots?
Hi guys, we are gonna go get some wood for the fireplace tonight. And I don't know what to do after that. Mom, what are we gonna do after that? Can you say hi?
We're getting some fresh air
Hi.
because
Hi.
this one,
Say hi. Hi.
okay, but you need to be zipped up.
So we think Ethel is pregnant because she is getting bigger. Mommy's wearing a face mask that she can't see with.
I wear Daddy's face mask when it's really cold. When
Her hair looks like a cupcake.
when I was milking this morning, and it has been cold, and it's going to be cold this whole week.
And it's gonna snow next week, I think.
Probably going to snow. We're going to start tapping trees if Daddy starts feeling better. Thank goodness today was not as big of a sick day as I thought. It was more just an inside day. And let's check our list and see where we're at with the day. We still have butter to make. It's warmed up so it can turn into butter a little quicker. We've got whey left off from the cheese. I tried a new mozzarella recipe. We're gonna try to get some fresh air before the sun goes down. We still need to make butter, tincture. I still need to get some work done, and I need to feed my starter. That's actually really good. I can actually get most of that done for the rest of the day. I cannot express how good that feels because there are so many days where I feel like I do not even barely tackle my list, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about. 9 more minutes. That bone broth, our second batch, will be added into the pot, and we will be having, we call it pho, but technically it's not, but we will use just like the vermicelli rice noodles, and usually during garden season we'll have some bok choy and Chinese cabbage and things to throw in there, What's wrong?
I can't turn my light off.
You can't turn your light off?
I don't mean my...
Often I feel like I get asked parenting advice or questions. So many kids are different, and so sometimes it feels a little hesitant to try to give advice because every family is different, every kid is different, just lots of things. But I would say one parenting tip that I just feel like has worked across the board, 3 different kids, yes, it's the same environment, but all of the kids, all of our girls have responded the exact same way.
Are you wearing like straight up like a ski
Yeah, I have a ski mask on because then when I get cold outside, oh, it's the real deal. The parenting advice I have for the day is all of our kids whine, but I don't allow that to be the norm in our house. Each kid, anytime they talk rude, nasty, whining, I just say, try that again. Or when they're really little, I can't hear you when you talk like that. Try that again so I can hear you. All 3, without training each other, they respond in such a nicer way. So try that again. Mommy, will you help me get my shoes, please? Like, it turns into this high-pitched, squealy, sweet little mouse voice, which I much more appreciate than whining of, I can't get my shoes. It's just a matter of not allowing that specific behavior to be the norm. If they are allowed to whine, they're gonna whine. And it takes some training, but I feel like we have done a really good job of getting our kids to respond in a more appropriate way. without whining and complaining. All right, nighttime chores. Here we go. Ugh, my nemesis. Dirty buckets that need to be cleaned. Well, hello everybody. Everyone is doing a great job with just our low fence. We've got our pigs and our chickens together. They're doing really well. They're back at their old stomping grounds. And eventually they're going to be upgraded to a castle over there once we can get that done. Now, everybody wants hugs. I know. Freddie wants the most pet. Lucy wants the least. Whoa! Is anyone else's toes are cold?
No. Yes, mine.
Me and Callie.
There's a frostbite on it.
Frostbite, not quite. Let's not be to that level. But
You could get a frostbite if you're in Alaska or the Arctic.
okay.
My feet are only cold
Callie,
my feet are only cold because I don't have tennis because I only have tennis shoes.
no socks? Uh-oh. That was milk. I gave them half a Buttercup's milk this morning. It was a hot mess milking this morning, so I think I told you, yes, the debris when mud gets into the pail, it turns into a no-go for us. So the pigs got it, but they have a new bucket in their pen, so Philip was asking what that bucket was for, and it was their milk bucket. There's so much out here that I want to tackle, but it's just cold, so we're not outside doing a ton.
So cold.
Your toes are cold too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The barn on.
What? Turn the barn on? You want to go play in the barn?
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope I'm not speaking too soon. The rest of us seem just fine. I'm just hoping we're going to dodge it. But everybody needs to say goodnight to Wessie. Hi, Bubba. I'll come back out and I'll separate them. Usually they separate themselves. So usually Mama stays in here, Hayes over there. It goes on both sides. And then Wesley will be closed in. He's also been staying in that shelter over there.
Oh, sandpaper tongue.
And we'll come in the side garden.
Oh, please don't lick me again. He licked me and
He licked you?
with his sandpaper tongue.
He's so friendly.
Come here.
So we need to get his testing sent out soon so that way we can list him for sale and get him established with his new home. But he's not weaned yet, so we're not in a super rush, but I think it would be good for him to know where he's going. We want to get him into a really great home. You want to get uppy? Let's go inside. It's cold.